you're in government, a lot of issues becomes overwhelming. Suddenly you have to look at the economy. What has Islamic State got to do with economy? Focus on economy, make sure food is in people's mouth. Suddenly you have to deal with poverty. There's nothing about ideology in poverty. It's about getting food and money into the people's pockets. Suddenly you have to focus on attracting investors. What has it got to do with ideology? All three parties must work together to bring money, bring foreign investors into your state. Suddenly you have to deal with how to restructure water in Selangor. What ideology? And suddenly you have to deal with issues like the education, running schools, all these other issues now overwhelm. I can tell you, they overwhelm our leaders who are EXCO committee members, who are part of the top leadership in the various states. There's no time to think about ideology. Not much anyway. So we are made of a lot of subtlety, and we are learning from experience. There's no question about it. We are learning from experience. Now, a lot of people, I'm one of those who write a lot on blogs, and I get a lot of comments. Many of us, including myself before I joined politics, are armchair critics, guilty or otherwise. We'd like to ask, why can't Pakatan just set up a shadow committee? Why can't we just form one party? Solve all problems at one party, no problems with the three parties. Why can't we stop quarreling and work together? Why can't the three parties agree on one common policy? Very important questions. Okay? This is not saying the questions are not important, but there are no easy answers. I'll give a very simple example when I was an armchair critic. 2003, Chinese New Year, somebody's house. I happened to be there, I was running my company there, it just got listed, high with ego, my head too big for my cap. Kishan happens to be there together with Teresa Top. I spoke to them. I follow politics. I've always followed politics all my life. So I said, why did you do this? That time was what happened there? That time was Barisan Alternative. DAP was working in past. DAP just came off its worst electoral performance ever in 1999. I had plenty of views. Unfortunately, my views then was DAP must pull up from Barisan Alternative. Okay. So I had my views. I told kids my views. He probably listened to another one of those guys. And he said to me one thing at the end. Sure. No, I don't know whether he meant sure, I believe you, or sure, please stop. Why don't you join and share your views from within? And convince people from within. And I said, okay, one day, after I start up my business. But I think it was more than that. I think that looking back, that particular phrase of come into the party and share your views from within, it is more than just, please join the party and tell us more later. It is more than that. I think it means a lot more. Okay, when you come into a party, you look at what's happening within, and then moving your agenda, pushing your issues, your principles. The party is not a one-man show. It is an organism of tens of thousands of members. Now, the party will be a reflection. Each political party will be a reflection of that body of politics. Okay? And this body of politics is not constant. While opinions are shaped in one way, it is not constant. People can come in, people can motivate people can lead, talk, and shift opinion. And if we really want to move things a certain way, sometimes we have to do the dirty work. It's quite easy for me to be outside there telling them you must pull out from Barisan Alternative. But we didn't understand the issues, the nifty, the subtle issues involved in political negotiations between respective parties. And just as much as I was supporting the view to pull out from Barisan Alternative, there were others who were die hard. We must support Barisan Alternative at all costs. How do you balance those views? Political leaders thrive on balancing these views. No? Just like some here, or maybe not here probably everyone supports teaching of maths and science in English. But some in kampong to say, no, because we cannot. So how do you balance those views? So it's important for people to actually come in to see that, to see the policies, the changes, to make the difference. Some just say, why don't you just select good candidates so that you don't get problems of people jumping ship after being bought? First, 2 points to that. One, we don't have enough candidates. Who wants to join opposition parties? Not that many, especially before March 2008. Only a few suckers like me who will join that. Sell company and join the most. All die Ibrahim. No? So sometimes we don't have a choice. Okay? Of course, there's a practical application about selecting candidates. This candidate has been standing with you for the past how many elections? How you know after he wins this time round, they join you? You know, so these are very difficult things. And if you think that we need better candidates, then please encourage those better candidates among you to join us, whether BKR, BAP. Otherwise, how to become candidates? Cannot. So we must first improve our quality pool. So obviously the party leaders have a role, just as I'm doing now, to encourage more people to join. But it is also dependent on the people on the ground to join so that we have better candidates. You know? And then there are other issues. Okay, what other issues? Sorry, lost my train of thought. There are other issues that are a little bit more subtle. You know, some have suggested, many have suggested, my blog gets overwhelmed when people say, you must have a shadow cabinet. You must have a shadow cabinet. Otherwise, you are not a real alternative front. Okay, give me just 2 minutes. I say, so if we set up a shadow cabinet, does it solve our problems? Really, think about it. Does it solve our problems? Not really. Why? Because our shadow cabinets are just people with one person. In UK, in Australia, when you set up a shadow cabinet, it's fully supported by the government machinery. That means you have funds to allow to hire researchers, you have funds and recognition of the office, you actually get paid as a shadow cabinet member. You know, to do the work of a shadow cabinet person. In Malaysia, once you become a shadow cabinet minister, say I become a shadow cabinet minister for higher education, everything I write myself. Someone becomes a shadow cabinet minister for agriculture. What do I know about agriculture? I write myself. We are no worse off than the ministers on the other side. But the ministers on the other side have got the entire civil service backing them up in terms of policies and procedures. So does it mean that once we have a shadow cabinet, we become a better government? No. Frankly speaking, that's not going to happen. So there are practical reasons why we set up committees instead, because the committee people can work together, share ideas, and hopefully pool some resources together to make better policies. It's not a fact, okay, but it's something we make do based on the current system. So I think to cut matters short so that we have more time for questions later, I believe that Pakatan is definitely sustainable. It is made from a lot of sterner stuff that people would like to think it is. Every time it faces a crisis, because I'm a publicity chief, the reporters call me, how are Pakatan going to break up? I say, please lah. I always have to reply in the coolest, most disinterested tone I can give. No, it's just one of these problems that we have, and then you get resolved and people all forget about it. And I've repeated that actually quite a few times. And as we grow, it's actually good that we have differences in opinions. Because we are not like Barisan, where one party rules all. No difference in opinion, no? You want that sort of party, you want that sort of solution where one opinion, everything must follow. You don't want that. You want diversity so that the best result comes out. You want the people's voices heard. We have representatives who represent certain grassroots. They have representatives who represent certain types of grassroots. And so does BKR. And you want the best policy that caters to all these different interest groups, different needs to come up. And if we don't have that level of discussion, disagreement, you will never find that. So I actually believe that there's that level of difference, that level of quarrel, okay, that doesn't rock the boat, is actually beneficial towards the maturity of Pakatan as a coalition, so that we can actually rule Malaysia better, so that we actually learn what is power sharing and not what is power of one dominating over all the other parties. So with that, I thank you very much. I look forward to your questions.